Yo, what's up? I'm just on a cruise right now in the lovely Mission Bay in Auckland. I wanted to make this video essentially to tell you why entrepreneurs succeed and why some entrepreneurs, and I guess entrepreneurs in general, see opportunities when other people see problems. Now, a few videos ago I made a kind of reviewing my 100-day challenge, 0 to 100K and 100-day challenge. Didn't succeed in the challenge. I didn't hit the 100K revenue that I intended to, but I got, a third of the way there, 32%. I landed 8 deals out of, I wanted 25 deals. So, it could always be better. I didn't exactly hit my goal, but I'm very proud of what I did. Okay, cool. The reason I say that is because I'm not going to say it's free money, because I worked really hard for it and I had a good system in place. I've now hired a team member to help with service delivery. Things are going really well. I've worked in sales for years, so I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to sales, and I'm speaking about sales, and I'm actually on sales calls and discovery calls with prospects. But this is why I say it's free money, because I spent over the course of just over 3 months, 100 days is 3 months and 10 days. I spent $1,000 on ads. That's it. And I made back over $37,000. $32,000 just in setup fees, and then another $5,000 or so in ongoing commission for my clients. The people I work for are residential contractors in Australia and New Zealand. Every new job we help generate every new opportunity we help generate that converts into a new paying job, we get 5%. And the good thing about residential contracting is their jobs are very big. It's not a $100 job, $500 job. All their jobs are $5,000, $7,500, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. You get the idea. These are big jobs. They're not quite commercial jobs, but they're big residential jobs, big renovation jobs, new builds sometimes, although I haven't got any new build jobs for my clients recently. They're a bit harder to advertise for. It's a bit more of a unique client, but you get the idea. Think about that. Think about that in terms of 9 to 5. Spending $1,000 and making back 37,000. I mean, I know you can't really comprehend it, compare it in terms of a 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, but people would be super scared, super nervous, see a bunch of holes in spending $1,000 on something like Meta ads or Google ads. They'd be like, why would you pay Mark Zuckerberg? Why would you pay Alphabet all that money just to advertise your services that might not get even any clients, any traction? Fair point. There's always the if, right? There's always going to be an if. I think the main difference is entrepreneurs think about it. We're always a glass half full type person. Even if we're planning small, planning conservatively, as one would say. If we only close 5% of all leads into sales, if we only close 10% of all leads to sales, as opposed to 50%, 60%, 70%, right? If we only hit this many deals per quarter, if we only hit, we set small targets sometimes, don't get me wrong, as kind of benchmarks to breeze by. But if we weren't entrepreneurs, here's what we do. We wouldn't even start entrepreneurship. Sometimes the idea of, there's so many people like us out there, entrepreneurs, that take so many risks and fail, if we're looking at it logically and not emotionally, I mean, what are the odds that we fail as well? I mean, they're quite high. You never know. You never know. There's so many people out there that want to be like you, that want to take your position. People under you. There's people above you that work hard as well. That's the scary, but people doing better than you that are working harder than you, right? And as opposed to, just throwing in the towel, saying, you know what, that was pretty good. I tried business for a couple months, but you know what, it wasn't for me. Back to the grind for me, back to the 9 to 5, back to my, my building job, my sales job, my marketing role. It wasn't for me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But an entrepreneur, they always push through. And their goal is to always find a way to make it work, right? Even if they only have $1,000 an ad budget to spend, their goal is to make that $1,000 a new fund, essentially. They want to make it the new venture capital fund to invest into their future endeavors and their future ad spend and their future businesses as well. Bringing on the right partners, more ad spend, paying for better content, you know. This is the way the world's heading. And if you're not a, you know, creative thinking entrepreneur that's going to come up with the next Apple or the next Amazon, you know, if you're not an innovator, which there aren't many of, don't get me wrong, and that's totally fine. You got to just copy what works and do it well, and do it really well. There's nothing wrong with copying people, but you got to know that it's not easy. Even to copy people isn't easy. You know, I've documented my whole journey from, you know, the road to 100K in 100 days. I haven't had a whole lot of people come up to me in person and say, hey, I tried that, and yeah, I got the 100K in 100 days quite easily. What was your issue? People actually commend me for saying, you know what, even though you fell short, fair play. Like, I couldn't do it. It takes balls, essentially. And I'm like, thank you, bro, appreciate it. But you can never take it, you know, too seriously, because there's always more work to be done. And I told you guys, even on my road to 100K in 100 days challenge, there were days I faffed about. You guys will see it on the vlogs and the videos. There was days that, you know, I had a shit day. I had one call, ruined my mood, and I'm out for the day. Did no more work. That's not good. And I'm in the process, and I'm always going to be in the process of training myself to not do that. Training myself to be more disciplined, more focused, and essentially get better as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a salesman, as a marketer, as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor, all those things. So what I'm getting at with this video is this. This is what I want you to take away from it. If you're going to start entrepreneurship, this is the key message. If you're going to start entrepreneurship, you cannot fail if you don't give up. That's the key takeaway from this video. Through all the ups and downs, through being rich, through being broke, through hiring great people, through hiring not so great people, through great clients, through bad clients, through good reviews, through bad reviews, through testings that succeed, through testings that fail, you just got to keep going, right? If your product isn't working now, find a way to make it better. If your product is working now, find a way to make it better. Double down, spend more in ads, spend more in service delivery, make sure your product is exceptional, and just never give up. That's the key message from this video. Never give up. If you're a beginner, do not throw in the white flag. Do not give up just because your business model isn't working. You've got to find a way to make it work, because guess what? If you're copying other people that have already made it work, you know that there's a market for it. You're not just, you know, shooting bow and arrows into like outer space and hoping for the best. You know that there's a target market for this. You've seen other people succeed with it. So for you to succeed, all you got to do is do the work. It's as simple as that. So begin, don't quit, and there'll be days in the future where you're spending in ad spend what people make in a week, right? You'll be making back in profit in one day what people take 3 months to make, right? And you don't need to get to that point to compare yourself to others, to say, I told you so, I did it, I'm right, you're wrong. You do it to prove yourself right. To prove to yourself that you know you can do it, that you knew that you could do it. And you know what? When you get to that point, guess what? There'll be new targets in place, and you're not going to want to give up. It's a very fun way of life. There's a lot of freedom involved. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of skills involved. And the intention is to live a fulfilled, fun, and wealthy life. Make yourself proud, make your family proud, make your friends proud. Spouse, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, doesn't matter. I'll leave you guys to it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on this video. I'll attach my Instagram down below if you have any questions for me personally. Give me a DM. I'm going to reply to all the DMs that I get sent. My Instagram is at HarperMaisey, HarperMaisey. Flip me a DM, we'll go from there. I'll leave you guys to it. Have a good day, and do not give up. Peace out.